Hope you all are excited as I am about learning more of this amazing plant. And with the moment, I would like to welcome all the panelists to the stage. I will first start with Dr. Chris Aurand, Open Innovation Leader from Thai Union. Friends, I would like to first start by asking the panelists, what are some of the most significant trends you see in shaping the future of food over the next decade? And first, I would like to hear from Dr. Chris.
Hi, everyone. So where we see as Thai Union as a large corporate and an OEM manufacturer for both pet food, seafood, and value-added products, one of the big areas we see as the future trend is around health and nutrition. There's going to be more and more focus on healthy ingredients, providing dense nutritional value for the aging population. So where we're looking is that aging population is going to be driving a lot of new product development in areas. So it'll also drive the adoption of AI technologies and other automation technologies to help on the farm, in the food processing side, and then also around delivery, because you will have less workforce to help support all the harvesting needs, the processing needs that we have come and gotten used to over the last decade or the last 50 years, where we've had an abundance of able-bodied workers. So aging population will be a key area where you're going to see a lot of development, looking at how we can produce new products that are energy dense, delivering that protein, the other health ingredients such as antioxidant activity, also around the texture. So how can you have products that the elderly can swallow and still taste good and be affordable? So that's where we see as a big area to work in the future. And also you're seeing that also with the adoption of the GLP-1 inhibitors in the US and Europe. So these drugs that are anti-obesity, they're helping reduce the weight of the consumer population. They're already seeing changes in food consumption. So people are consuming less products. Nestle launched a product around high fiber, high protein, and a smaller product size. So you're going to see more dense products, maybe less products on the shelves, but they're going to be tailored to these health and nutrition trends that you're seeing around aging, and around new drugs that are coming out. I think that'll be a bigger area as well of how do you tailor the foods to meet those new trends in the drug area to treat those chronic diseases.
And fortunately, a lot of things that Dr. Chris mentioned also already in Wolffia, and we'll talk about that in the later session. But now I would like to hear from Kun Piya.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Chris, for the answer. I couldn't agree more that I think the healthy trend is coming from food industry right now. For the restaurant business, we will see people ask for the functional benefit for the food, such as like good for the gut, good for the someone for the sleep, or something for booster their health or energy. So for the restaurant, we try to have to adapt with demand from the customer and help the people to help people with the pain that they have. And secondly, I would say people out of the healthy trend, I think the premiumize and something that to enhance the experience for the customer is a key for this last couple of years. People, even though today is not very good economic in Thailand, but restaurant is an easy place to find the happiness. So people going out and want to have the good experience at the restaurant, and so that I think for the restaurant we have to give something new or something exciting for the market for the customer. And the last but not least is a sustainability trend that people very concerned about it, and especially for the young people, they would like to know that where is the food come from, where is the packaging that we use, or how we produce all the ingredient that have in the restaurant. So that all the three trends that I see in last couple of years, and I should be in the next decade too.
As a food enthusiast, I could not agree more. Now with Dr. Tam.
Okay, so yeah, I can say that every other week I have to teach about future food to students in my classes, and I tell them, okay, well we need a double the amount of food in the next 30 years. But in reality, as a parent of two little children too, so maybe I can say my definition of future food is what they like to eat. And also the other is what I want them to eat, which is not what they want to eat, right? So I think that's something we have to really care because they are the future. And my kids, they love eating snacks and things that they're not supposed to be eating. And I like them to eat a lot of vegetables, a lot of protein, which they don't like to eat. So for example, almost like every other day, I have to stop by a convenience store to get now like high protein milk because usually they don't get enough milk and enough protein, and they hate eating a lot of good food. So yeah, something like this, I think. So you have to think about the reality too, about what the future generation want to eat, and also what they're supposed to be eating.
Wow, from the first question, some resonating between the three panelists is already the nutrition dense fact that we are looking for that more and more. So with this trends that you all have acknowledged, I would like to know what do you think are the opportunities and challenges of Thailand in becoming the hub of the future food industry? And I would like to start with Kun Piya.
I think Thailand have a great opportunity to be the hub for the food in the future. We are in great strategic area in Southeast Asia or maybe in the world. We have everything. The culture about the food is very strong. We have like I think every kind of the food in Bangkok. You can find every restaurant from many nationality in here, and also we have a culinary school and everything to prepare that the knowledge about the food and the passion about the food. Also the professional from the outside country come to Thailand to work to push the industry going forward. This is a great opportunity for Thailand today. But the challenging is I think we have to be more focused on what the world want, especially sustainable trend or the labor issue. That is the thing that we have to really concern. For me, not only the restaurant business, I do the mayonnaise and salad dressing business also. We do OEM for some of the global brand. What they requiring the standard for the labor, for the factory standard equipment, everything. We have to be prepared for matching the requirement for the world that they want our product.
Yeah, quality control and meeting regulation is definitely an issue. And I'm glad that we are in the place where when foreigners hear about food from Thailand, they really have that trust in the name. Next, I would like to go with Dr. Mehta.
Okay, well, since you already said trust, and trust is the word I was going to say. Because, of course, what you want to put in your mouth is something you really trust, right? Because you cannot really see. And sometimes something in the food that you're going to eat, it's going to either help you or kill you. So I think in Thailand, we can talk about the sunlight, the warm temperature and everything. But I think a key big advantage is Thailand has been in the world map of a lot of, if you think about auto industry or food. If the cars you drive, of course you have to trust. Go back to the food. I think Thailand have been that manufacturer hub for so many years, and people know and trust Thailand already. So I think in combination with what we can produce and the transparency and the technology we have and all the international community that come to Thailand, and it's a big network, and I think we can build that trust and into the future food that we produce.
Yeah, traceability and other things needs to come in handy soon, and I think we are developing towards that goal. And Dr. Chris?
Hard always being the last person, I think. But starting from the background of Thailand as an agricultural powerhouse, I mean, we're number one in many different areas. Rice growing, sugar, we're in the top 10. Chicken, poultry producing and export, we're number 4. Pet food. So you have all of these large conglomerates here, both domestic Thai companies, but also many multinationals manufacturing here and leveraging the resources that Thailand has to offer. I mean, we have a great food culture. It's becoming more and more trendy now around Thai food, Thai flavors globally, and people wanting to try new things. And you get to expose many tourists to all of this food culture. I mean, we have 39 million people visited Thailand last year. So growing tourists coming in, so you have exposure to that market. And with 9,000 food processors from SMEs, startups, through to those multinationals, Nestle, P&G, to the local conglomerates, there's that opportunity to work here and produce here for the global market. I think some of the challenges are we don't brag enough. We don't get out there and brag enough. But I mean, everyone likes Thai food. They recognize it. Investment can be a challenge here as well. So how do you compete on the global stage as a small SME or as a startup? How do you really grow beyond the Thai borders? And that's where we're open to having more help there around those challenges. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Piya also mentioned diversity and coming together with the trust, with the diversity, and also with like what we can produce. We are a bit hard to beat, I think, in the food trend, and it's amazing to be here in this era and with all the things that we can produce and see how it can cut through the global market. And Dr. Chris, I also have one more specific question for you. Now you get to be the first in answering this one. How is your corporation exploring healthy food and sustainable sources of protein?
So we have many different ways we're looking at new sustainable sources of protein and testing out new technologies. From the in-house side, we've been working around our sustainability initiative, Sea Change. So this is where we're looking at across all of our products, all of the SKUs we manufacture, and making sure they're healthy and nutritious. So high protein, reduce the salt content, reduce sugar content, make that healthy product, and incorporate new proteins where we can. Then we're also looking at other technologies where we can utilize the byproducts into, such as our protein. So our protein hydrolysates, we're also producing collagen peptides from that. So how do we upscale and create more value from what we have to offer? But then also, how do we work with startups to try out new technologies? So we run a program called Space F. It's Thailand's first dedicated food tech incubator and accelerator program. Been around 6 years. Applications are still open, so apply if you're a startup out there. I'll give that last day today, but I think we're extending it till Sunday because we know people procrastinate. But I think it's a great opportunity for us to work with the startup. So we worked with Flo when they first were starting off in 2020, and helping them how to scale, how to really drive testing their products, bring down the price, and look at how we can integrate them into both pet food or human food applications. So that's where we get the opportunity to play around with new technologies wouldn't develop in-house, but then they have the experience of seeing how they can scale and getting advice on regulatory scalability and shipping, etc.
So definitely this kind of ecosystem is so important to get many companies up and running and also compete in global scale. And also anyone, I think a lot of people here in this hall might be interested in that kind of accelerator incubator. I would really recommend. It has been quite a great experience for us and quite a ride. Also, we are talking about the sources of protein because Wolffia has a very high protein content, and that's coming up later. But I would like to switch gear a little bit, and now back to Kun Piya, asking about how do restaurants play a role in educating the public about the benefits of healthy food and sustainability.
I think the restaurants have huge responsibility about telling the people what their food they eat. I mean, the customer should know where the food come from, what the benefit of the food they eat, and how sustainable matters their life. So it is our job to tell the customers. And the way to tell the customer, so we have to have the tools to communicate with them, social media, or maybe like the offline media at the restaurant. So we try to at the salad factory we try to give more information for the customer because we are in healthy food category. So people want to know like what is different between each ingredient. So we have to tell them that why we choose it and not choose that. Like I just went to the shrimp farm at Songkhla from Thai Union. So we went to the farm which is have BAP standard, and then all the process at the farm is no chemical, chemical free shrimp, and then they send the shrimp to the factory, or the factory is no chemical process anything. So that we would like to tell that story to the customer as well, that our food is safe, our food is good for your health. And for us it's not about keep if the customer they leave the restaurant with the full and happy, and they also know what they benefit their health, that we are on the right track.
Wow, that's really the kind of commitment from both restaurateur and also the corporation that we as customers and end user would really love to hear. And now a little bit more. As today we are focusing on duckweed and Wolffia, we would like to hear from our specialists because the audience must be keen now. What are the benefits? So what are Wolffia and duckweed? Could you elaborate on their nutritional benefit and their potential as superfoods? And also why are they start gaining popularity now?
Okay, so now we're getting to the hard part, right? So as I've been studying duckweed and microalgae, so these are small aquatic plants for so many years. And in about, I think, beginning of around 2011, it was recognized that duckweed in general, and Wolffia is a species in the duckweed family, the smallest kind, the tiniest plant in the world. It's a flowering plant, not algae. So they are rich source of protein. You know, you probably hear about plant-based a lot. And for plant-based, technically, the key is soybean and maybe wheat, right? And we're not going to be having enough. We need, as I said at the beginning, we need to double amount of food in the next about 20, 30 years. And we have, the land, we don't have a whole lot. And now we, can see for so many years, we have been able to feed the world. And now the number of hungers are increasing steadily. And people eating more protein too. So why are we going to find enough protein to feed to us, or well, to the chicken, or to the pigs, or to the cows? So people think to achieve that, so they switch to duckweed, which are fast-growing plants. They double their mass in about 2 to 3 days. So for 1 kilogram, they double to 2 kilograms in 3 days. Phenomenal. So it's been recognized that per the same area, duckweed can produce about 10 times more protein than soybean. So it is a future that we're heading toward. So a lot of countries around the world starting to study duckweed, and mostly lemna. What you've seen around is lemna, the bigger duckweed. Then later on, people recognize that Thai people have been eating Wolffia, which is the smallest kind of duckweed, for centuries. So the story got out that, okay, so Wolffia is actually duckweed too, and also high in protein. High, I'm talking about 40-50% amount of protein per dry weight, and they grow quickly. And then was later recognized that actually duckweed so rich, and Wolffia are so rich in other nutrients too. For example, vitamin A, C, E, and especially B12 that's not normally found in other plants. How rich? If you talk about vitamin B12 alone, per serving, you can get 100 to 200% RDI easily. So people think that, not only protein, but you get the same, the nutrients like superfood combined. And then third, it was not realized that actually, because most people didn't get a chance to eat Wolffia or duckweed, that they taste great too. I mean, I would say great meaning they don't taste much. They're just like very, they say tasteless vegetable. But Thai people, I can say that been eating duckweed for centuries. We didn't know much about the nutrition. It actually tastes great when you cook it. It's umami. It has that flavor that a lot of people growing up eating Wolffia now, when they see it, they would buy and go home and cook right away because they love that taste. And that's something that we still try to unlock, how to unlock the umami taste, because they're high in protein, of course. That's why they're umami too. So now we talk about the sustainability, the protein, the nutrition, and the taste. It's no wonder why Wolffia and duckweed in general are coming so big. But duckweed, though, I mean, as you see in case of plantable, the big duckweed, they're not really, when you eat, they're not really palatable, because they get root and leaves. But Wolffia is tiny, just, like small, we call fish, we call like water meal or egg, like ไข่น้ำ in egg in the water. So they're rootless. So when you eat, it's like a fish roll. So all of that will make now Wolffia and duckweed something that people talk about a lot. And coming to the cuisine, I think the big players, of course, the restaurants and the food industry too, that are picking up, they're recognizing the potential and then putting in their food products on the menu.
Yeah, that's why we talked in the beginning a lot about nutrient density, because like Wolffia is one of the densest food in terms of nutrition, merits of like multivitamin B, and at the level that if you have one serving, you have so many things, including polyphenol and antioxidants. So those in the health sector really digging into this. So once we done with this session, I'm sure many audience would love to go to the restaurant and try out this menu. And luckily, it's so easy for us to enjoy because many restaurants, just like a salad factory, now serve the Wolffia. Question now come to Kun Piya. What was your reasoning for incorporating Wolffia into your menu? What potential benefit do you think Wolffia can bring to your customer and to your restaurant?
Okay, there are a few reasons that we bring the Wolffia to the restaurant. First of all, the benefit, as คุณอาจารย์ตั้ม just said that great of source of protein and it's a plant based, a lot of fiber, a lot of vitamin. So this is gonna be benefit to our customer. Secondly, I think the taste is mild and can go well with many dishes. And another thing is it's fun to cook, because of the color and how it can be even a beverage menu or even for the salad menu. So that's why we would like to bring Wolffia to our restaurant. And secondly, very important is about Wolffia from flo too, because before I have to be honest that I had tried the Wolffia before I found the Wolffia from flo. And then I had a bad experience about trying it for the first time. So after I talked to flo team and tried that again, so it's a really big difference from the one I had before. So and then I have a chance to go to visit the farm, meet Ajahn Tam and Ajahn Fu at the farm. So we see how they process, how standard they doing the farm through the cleaning process, and everything is they really take care of their product. So that's why we start to do the research and bring the Wolffia to the restaurant. And for the customer, I think is they already benefit with two things. One is a benefit for the health. Secondly, is a product is a very sustainability. So it's a very good chance to salad factory to go after the trend, the Wolffia trend, and then develop the menu and give that to our customer. Secondly, for the another thing is for the restaurant. I think for the restaurant, our purpose is we would like to help the people achieve health and mental well-being through the good food and positive atmosphere. So by offering the Wolffia is very is a great fit for our restaurant as well. So I think that's why we bring the Wolffia to our restaurant.
Wow, thank you so much. I think as a person with medical background, I feel like it has not been mentioned enough how much health benefits Wolffia actually provide and offer, because it has been so many great studies from the United States and Canada and Israel that eating Wolffia daily can really help your guts, your help with fatty liver condition, and also many other things like cardiovascular and metabolic diseases. So it's like one part that you can really add to your meal and on a daily basis that will really help with the whole health system. And also, as Kun Piya mentioned, having that high standard, and it's not going to only help with the trust that you have a very clean, very pure Wolffia, but also with the experience in eating and enjoying the food itself, because there will be no mud smell and no other impurities. So choosing Wolffia wisely is also key. But as we talk about this, like it's great that now it has been so widespread in Thailand. Now also coming back to the superfood and looking at the bigger picture, I'm coming back to Dr. Mehta about what are the economics and environmental advantages of cultivating these plants compared to traditional crops, and what are some challenges about cultivating these plants for the food industry in particular?
Okay, well, thank you. I started as Wolffia is probably the most productive plant in the world. Better, like 10 times better than soybean. However, experience from working with aquatic plants, they're not that easy to cultivate. But they're not that hard. Okay, why we have been growing microalgae or something, talking about duckweed? Because a tiny plant is a one plant, and they'll always look the same. Every day they look the same. Maybe it's slightly larger, maybe it's slightly smaller. When they were first budded, they're small, right? And then they go just a bit large and then divide. So we're talking about technology to cultivate, greenhouse technology and all that. It's complicated. I've so many years worked with plants too. So from seeds and then to leafy big plants or to harvest, it's all, every day is never the same. But for duckweed and Wolffia, every day is the same. So if you have a technology, you can put that environment they want, then you control, and you can use monitoring, you can use AI or imaging system. You can technically, at our farm, we calculated, we have something like 1 trillion plants at the farm, and that even small, and it's so easy to manage using all this technology. So I think in the future, in terms of workforce, that would be so helpful. And also with the water, the land, we don't talk much about energy and water, they also require the amount of water, so that's great for environment. And talk about soil, you talk about plant, if you have 100 nitrogen in the soil, about 10 get to the root, and from 10 in the root, 1 go to the leaf or to the seeds, right? It's like very wasteful. But aquatic plants, they can absorb nutrients directly from the environment, and they are very nutritious. So I think this is the reason a lot of people looking at Wolffia. Not only they are sustainable, but you can use technology. We have more. We have a lower number of farmers now, right? We want to produce more food, so that is the way to go. And then technology you can incorporate quite easily.
That's why it's the future of food, I guess. So, Dr. Chris, I am coming back to you and ask this question as global food tech startup and open innovation leader. What are the economic potentials of duckweed and Wolffia, and what are the limitations in your view?
So, since you're at the start of an industry. A new crop that's being looked at how it can be grown up and scaled commercially. You have that opportunity to set the trust, as we've been talking about, the standards, but how do we go the next level, I would say? Because as those industries have grown, what's next to unlock the functionality of the nutrients there? We talked with a startup yesterday around the insect industry, and the way they looked at it is, we're not an insect farmer. We can produce insects, no problem. But what's next? How do we create that value? How do we unlock the flavor and the resources there? And that's going to also be what makes it interesting for venture capitalists or corporates. How do we take this to the next level? I would challenge you as well. Can we scale up production? Can you, that nice farm you have there, how do we change the technology there besides raceways to get a 10x production capability? That's where you've seen a lot of work in the algae industries on the same issues of how do we produce more tons of product per hectare on the farm. So I think that's where the next level is. Still very early, so keep the trust and make sure it's growing because there is a lot of interest in the area.
Wow, since you're on it, I think the next question would be right and kind of on top of that. How do you see the future of Wolffia and duckweed in the global food market, and what steps are necessary for their widespread adoption, Dr. Chris?
So I think when we were first talking with you, I think we were challenging you around how do we make a protein concentrate? How do we go fight against soy and wheat and all these other large-scale crops? And I don't know if that's necessarily the right pathway to go forward with Wolffia, but I see there's a lot of potential there as that ingredient for many different products and high-value products, especially with the neutral taste, and then leveraging the agricultural practices here in Thailand. Can you utilize the land and resources we have here to bring more revenue back to the farmers? I mean, can we bring more revenue to rice farmers, for example, if they grow it on their paddies? How do we do that and make sure it still maintains that trust and sustainable aspect? I mean, that's the other interesting part with the sustainability as well. How much carbon does it absorb, since it's not using a lot of fertilizer, it's using soil, all that. Is it a carbon sink? Have we looked at that yet as well? So there's many areas you get to look at now.
So now I will throw it back to Dr. Mehta to talk about the carbon credit and such. But again, the question is the future of duckweed in the global food market and steps necessary for adoption.
First I'll answer Chris first, and we don't know the answer for real. I mean, we are getting there though. Yeah. And as much as I trust my farmers or workers, I actually trust the AI more. so and we're getting there. So and then conceptually, technically, as I said, duckweed require the least amount of fertilizer, and fertilizer, I mean, is technically as all it requires. And water now is saying it requires a minimal amount of water compared, like, less than even egg technically. So then the big cost is the farmers, the labor cost. So as we get to the AI part and the automation, I think we can get there. And a lot of my colleagues at Plantable, they believe they could one day soon they'll beat pea, and one day they can beat soy. But that day is still a bit further away, and we still train the AI to do it. So, right, the challenge though, as I will say that for all aquatic plants, the key is the contamination in the water. So the standards is very important. And I honestly, we put a lot of, it very costly for the QC for us to make sure each batch is safe and also nutritious. And we don't have an AI to replace a scientist in a lab yet. Maybe one day we will, but that is a big cost. Maybe I took a bit too long to answer,
That's
Chris.
okay. We'll go to Khun Piya to wrap this up with the same question about the future of duckweed in global market and how to get the widespread adoption in your view.
I think Wolffia have a great opportunity especially in Thailand market or the world. But they have two products. One is a fresh one and one is a powder. For the fresh one, I already talked to Khun Tam. It's about correcting the pain point about operation and supply chain. Because I think if it can make it longer shelf life, it should be like easier for the restaurant to operate it at the restaurant. Because it's a vegetable, so it's very sensitive when we cook it or when we keep it for a while. And secondly, the powder is a great opportunity in the future because it's easy to use and it can go well. I tasted it; it tastes like matcha tea. So I think this one is a really I see the big opportunity for the products especially the powder. And for the restaurant, we very excited to use like the innovative product like Wolffia, and then our chef is very happy when we bring the Wolffia to the kitchen, and they what's this product, and the customer is very happy that when we tried the first time, and then I think we have a bright future for the Wolffia.
Well, that's it, everyone. I think there's a lot of things to ponder about and continue to ponder after even the end, after this session. And I would like to thank our amazing panelists and event organizers, of course, and thank you all, our audience, for your attention. Now, I would like to invite everyone to take a group photo. And if you have any question, maybe you can meet us next to the stage right after, and we'll be happy to answer any question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much once
Thank
again.
you.